Welcome back everyone to CAD 100. We're going to jump from absolute incremental or absolute methods to incremental relative movements. Now these are all Cartesian coordinates, but absolute you always go from that origin 0, 0. Incremental is a little bit different. It's a relative movement from the last point you were at. So what that means is at the end of every line we're going to make that our new 0, 0, which is really nice. Before we jump on here and get started, there's one thing I want you guys to do, and that's to turn off your dynamic input. If you've got dynamic input on, sometimes it will mess you up with a few things. So if you'll right now, if you'll scroll down here, there's a little three little lines here. Click on that and make sure your dynamic input is checked, okay? And all that does is it just puts it on your status bar, and right here is your dynamic input. If the light is on, you don't want that for this, because if I'm drawing, you see how it's got all that your numbers and everything, which is fine if you want to leave that on there later on, but for this exercise I want to turn that off, okay? That way you don't have any information on your screen. It's all going to come down here at the bottom, okay? So make sure that's turned off first, and then let's start. So again, we look at this drawing here, and if it was at an absolute, you got a 0, 0. And then of course, the first point, if you want to come over here, it would be x would be 5, y would be 0. Next move up, how far are you away from x from 0? You're 5 over. How far are you from y? You're 3 up. Okay. Now, don't let this stuff overwhelm you. I mean, there's a lot here, you know, but don't let it overwhelm you, because things get a lot easier. The methods in AutoCAD gets easier as you go on, and I just want to make sure that you understand how to use all the methods, because they all are very important, and you'll use all of them at some point in your career of using this. So again, don't get overwhelmed. We'll make it through. If you have any questions, you can always holler at me. So what I want to do now is I want to show you how to do incremental. So I hit line, and I come over here, and I'm just going to click. I'm just random space. It doesn't matter where I click at. I've got right now my tracking on. You can kind of see how I'm tracking over. But I'm just roughly going to click over here, and I don't know where that's at. It's not 0, 0. So if I want this line to be exactly 5 long here, doing an incremental, all I have to do is hit the button at, the symbol at on my keyboard. At 5 and x, because I want to come over in x5, but y I don't want it to go. I don't want it to go in height any. So it's 0. Enter. Y'all see that? So this endpoint here, I want it to be 0, 0. So I hit at, and again, I'm not moving side to side at all. So that stays 0. But my y is moving up 3, so just 3. I'm coming over. I want this to be 0. I have to hit at. And again, if this is x0 and y0 from that point, if I'm going left of it, remember in your Cartesian coordinates, it's negative, right? So it'd be -2, comma, and I'm not moving up and down in the y-axis, so 0. So now I want to come down, and I got to figure out how far that is. I need this. If I make that make that 0, 0, I am coming down. It looks like 1, so it'd be a -1 because I'm going in a negative direction in y. -1, comma 0 in x, because I'm not moving side to side laterally. And I just goofed that up. Let's go back. If you want to fix it, escape, delete. Let's go in here and hit the line again. Object snap on with my endpoint. And I hit at x. So you see what I done last time? I put -1 in x. X should have been 0. Y should have been -1. Alright. So now I want to come over this little distance here, which would be 3. So I hit at -3 in x, because I want to move over that way in x, but I do not want to move in y. And then check this out. I can finish this up incrementally, but I can also not put add in, and it goes back. And I'll show you this. If I don't, I can actually just snap to it. But if I don't do incremental, and you're thinking I can hit 0, 0, it'll shoot my line all the way over to here. And I'll show you that. If I go 0, 0, you see it, because that right there is my origin. But if I hit line, make sure I'm there, hit at, negative or 0 for X, because I'm not moving laterally side to side, but I am moving vertically, a -2, that'll close it up. So incremental movements are great, and the main goal is not for you to draw in everything in these methods. Use these methods all together when we get a little bit later. I'm just showing you how that these tools are there for your use. Okay, so jump in to these lessons, and if you need my help at any time, you just let me know.